sides are rusty, but that's okay.
Beautiful bean footage. Skål!
Chief and Ralph here, of course, leading Landon.
That's me!
Going kind of minimalist and garb and cooking today because we're getting ready to go on raid.
Also, it's hot.
It's hot. It is incredibly hot, and we always seem to do this on the hottest day of the week. It gets hot, we light the fire pit. We do it for you people.
Because we're weird.
Because we're weird. Yeah, we're getting ready to go on raid. Should be a quick raid. Quick in, quick out. Get their stuff, get on the boat. We'll see, though. Might end up stuck there. We're going to Jorvik.
They're going to Jorvik.
We're going to Jorvik. Near Jorvik. All the Danes keep raving about it, so we want to go see what all the hubbub's about.
I don't know. Check out a mountain, see what that's like.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So today, we're trying out our new spit roaster. I made a spit roaster. I got some couple pictures of that on Instagram, things in process. I woke up, I wanted to see if I could bend rebar, and I could, and then I just kept going until I made something. You know, it's kind of how my crafts go.
Yeah.
It's functional, we're going to see just how functional. So,
I think it'll work.
yeah, it should work, I think. Who knows? We'll find out. Hopefully it doesn't melt. I don't know. So what are we cooking today?
Today we're going to make some pork loin.
We got some pork loin. It's pork loin period. It's pork period.
Pork is period. Pork is
how
period.
Is are domesticated pigs a common thing? I don't know.
No. So yes and no. So there is evidence, and I'm not going to be able to remember to tell you exactly where, that there were domesticated pigs, but not quite in the way we think of domesticated. They weren't penned in like the goats or chickens would have been, or the sheep. They actually found evidence that they would keep the pigs, out in towards the forest area near the settlement, because they would eat the grubs and the underbrush and the acorns and whatever. So they would kind of be doing their own thing like a moving flock. But there is evidence that they would tend these pigs. Now, of course, I'm sure they weren't quite like modern pigs. I'm sure they're
Probably
more of a heritage breed.
Yeah.
But they weren't wild boar. They did keep pigs in certain areas. I would have to look up the fact again. That one I found in the early meal cookbook.
Probably. We'll link that again. I link that in most. The author, one of the authors, called us out for not linking that on a video, so now I try to link it in every video we do.
Love it.
Whether we use it or not, or call it out.
No, that was one of those ones I read recently when I was rereading parts of the cookbook about the different food finds, and I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I most of the recipes I see, everything's for lamb or goat or boar. They'll call out boar. I just assumed pigs weren't domesticated the same way. But when you're doing reenactment, for me, it's one of the greatest concessions is the food. I've said many times we don't exactly 100% know. Also, modern people, especially modern reenactors, are on budgets. You know,
we don't have access to all of the things that would have been available, especially because we don't live in the Norwegian.
Well, no, we don't live in the Nordic countries. We're not in Norway, Sweden. Also, you know, it's an expensive hobby enough. You know, it's hard enough buying t-shirts and underwear for your everyday life and to go to work, and then you're also buying t-shirts and underwear and tunics and stuff for your Viking life. So pork is a great substitute for a lot of stuff. It's a very versatile meat. It's generally easily available. If you're near a clubhouse, club shop type, what do they call those? Shopping club? Club shop.
Club shop.
They often have pork loin.
Family packs.
Family packs, less expensive. You can cut it into your pork steaks, you can roast it on a spit, you can cube it, you can stew it, you can broil it, bake it, fry it, fricassee it,
stick it in
pork
stew.
soup, pork stew, pork kebabs, pork sandwiches, peanut butter and pork.
Chicken's kind of the same way. It's much less expensive than some things.
Chicken is another great budget one. Pork loin is just so easy to do.
It is.
Especially big hunks of meat feeding big people. So we're gonna do a quick season on our little piece of pork loin we have here today. Throw it on our spit and get it on the fire. So what are we doing? I was just gonna do some salt and dill.
That sounds fine.
Anything else?
No.
I got some fresh dill from the garden. I'm just gonna kind of rub that on there. First we're gonna salt. I've always wanted to do this. I've never done this. Hopefully this is in frame.
Should be.
Oh yeah, look at that. I'm like that guy from The Thing.
The guy from The Thing.
That guy from The Thing.
I had known you were going to do that. I would have gotten a little wooden salt bowl.
Well, everything's packed. Everything's packed for our raid.
True.
So the funny thing about that, guy, is that you actually do get better dispersal if you go from high. I will say that. Hit that in there a bit. Give it a flipperoo. To the other side. This is kosher salt, which I found out recently. I never knew what the hell kosher salt was. I mean, I knew it was kosher. Has to do with the grind, I think, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah, it's a very coarse grind.
Coarse grind, coarse crystals. Our friend Charmaine had us try different shaped crystals. She, of course, worked for a good while at Auntie Arwen's, right at the shop, so she knew everything. She gave us a grand tour. And had us and they all tasted different.
Yeah.
They were just salt.
There is a science to the shape of salt crystals.
So now, yeah, I had no idea. Yeah, I have fresh dill from the garden. I'm going to kind of pound that around.
Yeah, I mean, if we let it sit for a little bit and maybe a little oil on it, with the salt.
With the salt, I thought maybe the flavors will just kind of...
We're going to let this sit for a few minutes before we put it over the fire.
Because dill's a subtle flavor anyway. I'm not actually expecting that to come through. I'll be honest.
Not a lot, but...
I might pick some more and pack it on there.
Either that or put some on while it's resting. After it comes off the fire.
That's a good idea. So let's get this prepped. We have our dogs on. If you've never used a spit roaster, you got to have hooks on one side. It makes life a lot easier.
It does.
These are actually off of... This will be our 4th roaster, technically. We have the smaller one, the bigger one. This is our new one, and this is off of the electric one that we have for the grill. We like
that means 5, because we have the big one.
Oh, the big tripod that we use as a spit roaster, because that wasn't a spit roaster, but we made it one.
Yeah.
Kind of center up here. Shove that right on there.
Don't stab yourself on the other side.
Stab yourself. That is the challenge.
I learned that lesson the hard way.
That kind of centered. Ooh, that's pretty good. You want the weight kind of centered so you can turn the thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Can I get any of these forks through? Oh, and if I don't, the other nice thing, if I shove it in there, we got a cage.
Yeah.
It'll turn.
I mean, if you want to put the other one on the other way, it'll even cage it more.
I was thinking, but I might just do that. That way, if we have to move it, it'll be easier to move. I might just leave it like that. Learning as we go, as always. We don't know what we're doing.
No.
Oh, that's another quick note about the salt. Pork can take a good amount of salt.
It can.
It's like salt pork, bacon, all that stuff. Pork can take a good amount of salt. It'll be salty, but it won't just taste like salt.
Well, and a lot of the salt when you're spit roasting does kind of render out.
Yes.
But don't over salt. Don't rely on that. But since the drippings go away, usually.
Get out of that, it could have. Still might. Could poke holes and shove the dill in there.
You still could.
I could. I'm not going to. It's hot.
It's hot.
I'm feeling particularly. I'm not even putting the other side of the dog on.
It's all right. We're almost gonna get some shade soon.
Soon, we'll see. So we'll just see. It'll now rotate.
Yeah.
In its own little cage.
It'll flip flop a little bit, but it'll hold it.
Yeah. We'll do that. We'll get that on the fire and check back in with the folks.
Sounds good.
All right. So we're going to throw our pork loin on. We got it on our spit roaster, and I see the flaw in the design of my spit roaster soon enough, so... Come on! Oh, put it on. Now there was a delay. We waited a bit. We had to get our fire just right. And that's an important thing when you're spit roasting, is getting your fire... You want some good coals and some good... Should kind of look like charcoal briquettes that are ready, even though it's wood. It's about the same thing. So, you see the flaw in my design, but again, there's ways to overcome everything and make it work. Let's see. Can I center that enough? I'm going to have to adjust my meat to the right, just a touch. So, if anyone eagle-eyed viewers out there noticed, I actually threw some more dill on the top. Ooh, it's warm already. It's warm already. It is ball hot out here. Alright, now, keep that here. Again, probably may have seen our other spit roaster. I wanted one we could permanently keep in here. You rest it on top and it's much easier to do, but this worked. So yeah, we got our coals going. Landon mentioned before we started filming that you want to keep your you don't want high flame because it'll cook too quick on the outside. It'll burn on the outside, not cook on the inside, but you have to keep it hot. You want to keep adding small stuff to keep your coals going. But you don't want big flame. We got a little bit in the back here, but it's off center. The other thing, if not direct heat is okay. And then we let that go for, I don't know, a full one. We do what, 2-3 hours?
5 or 6 for 20 pounds.
This will take a couple hours. We'll keep an eye on it.
I bet this one will take 2 or 3.
2 or 3 hours. A big thing when cooking over the fire is the visuals. As long as your heat's right, when it looks picture perfect, it usually is. If your heat's too high and it looks picture perfect, it's just going to be raw on the inside. If you have your coals right and you do it right, it'll just look perfect. So, yeah, I added more dill on top. I'll probably add some more as we go, and whatever falls in the fire, the smoke will smell good. So we'll see how that works out. And let that go for it's already dripping nice. And that's all we're gonna do for today. We're gonna roast this thing because it's hot. Everything else is packed for the raid. You gotta bring your cooking stuff on the raid. You gotta eat. It's gonna be a quick one, but we gotta eat on the ship. And if we get stuck there, we gotta cook something. So we'll see what happens. All right, check back in a bit. Let's give it a rotate. Now it's looking. Yeah, the handle stayed cool. I put a bend in it. Not as cool as it could be. That could be from the sun. Yeah, it's getting there. The dill's stuck to it. The common myth they always do in the movies where they rotate it constantly. It's not a rotisserie, it's a spit roaster. Rotate occasionally. And baste if you have basting liquid. We don't. We're just going to let it go. Might throw something on it later. Some of the fat dripping. Some slow shots. Ha! This is our life. Send help. I've been captured by a Viking woman. I need help. I gotta get out of here. Do we know how this happened?
Trusty stick.
Oh yeah, the trusty stick.
Can never go wrong with a trusty stick.
I can't believe the dill stuck.
It's really amazing.
Close up of that.
Do you want me to help at all? Do you want me to take the other side?
I need moral support.
Okay. You can do it. I believe in you.
Oh. Ah. The spit roaster I made is crap. Is it crap?
I don't think it's crap.
You don't?
No, I think it works
This
great.
spit roaster I made is crap, and it's hard to get things on and off of it. Boost my ego.
I think it's great.
Oh, as long as, all right.
It worked really well. Oh, it smells really good.
We burnt the dill, but oh, it's still dripping.
Nice.
Like a hot dog roller.
Yeah. It looks good.
All right.
Very hot. Beautiful.
Oh, greasy. Clean those.
Yeah. Well, I think it looks great. It smells really good. We're gonna let it rest for probably 10
Cover
minutes.
your nose in there.
The dill smells really good.
Now, we didn't baste this one.
We didn't.
But as we learned from the heart, basting works.
It does. We'll see. I mean, one nice thing about not basting this one is it didn't burn.
Didn't burn, the sugars didn't burn. So it was good.
But the fat rendered. I think it had enough fat it kind of self-basted.
Yeah. It often happens with the loins.
And we started at fat side up.
The dill, we added more dill as we went, and it kind of burned on there, but not in a bad way. So.
No, it still looks pretty good. I also recommend picking yourself up a barbecue grade meat thermometer.
Yeah, we didn't film that, but we did temp it. Modern sensibilities, you got to temp your meat. You got to make sure it's actually up to. And if your coals are right, it gets a little picture perfect. I think this kind of is.
It does. I think we could have crisped it a little more, but I didn't want it to get
probably,
overdone.
if we were going by sight, we probably would have done a little more. Mm-hmm. But get yourself a meat thermometer. Available on Amazon, I think. This thermometer, I just got to say quick. It actually got weird reviews on Amazon, but I bought one to try it, and ours has been great.
It seems to work really well, but I do tell you, get the ones made for barbecue. I melted more than one fire cooking. They do not hold up to, well, I didn't melt it, but I broke it.
We've broken
the
a
heat
few.
was too hot for the cord. You have to get the ones that are meant to be in a smoker or your barbecue. They're multi-purpose. They got the metal coating on the wires.
The good probes.
Yeah, otherwise you just end up with one that doesn't work.
Gotta have a good probe. Tasty probe.
So we'll let that sit for a few minutes and then we'll
Yeah, let that sit.
come back and give it a try.
Normally you cover them in foil as they do on all the cooking shows, but I'm not gonna do that. Just let it set. This is Viking cooking. We don't have foil. Vikings didn't invent foil.
You could put a wooden bowl over it, but
We could.
we won't.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But you could at home. You could cover it in a wooden bowl. I still can't believe the dill's done.
I know, that's really impressive. Well, now you just go pick it all up.
I'm playing with it. I can't help it. It's charred dill. Smells like nothing.
It kind of does, yeah, that's weird. It doesn't have much of a smell anymore.
Let's see what flavor it has. I don't know. We'll check back.
All right.
So let it rest.
We let it rest.
Your horns are droopy.
I know.
It's funny. So let it rest. Let's slice into this thing.
All right.
Make sure it's cooked.
It looks good.
So far, so good. Oh yeah, the outside is very crispy. It's very nice.
Oh, good. That's what I was hoping for. Gave it a little extra heat at the end to try and render some of that fat crispy. It's juicy. Wow, that looks like it. I'm glad I attempted it when we did.
Yeah, it still feels very warm.
We didn't let it go a whole lot.
A common misconception, you let your meat rest so it soaks up the juices.
It does.
It does not.
It does not? Yeah, it does. It redistributes.
It redistributes the juices.
Yeah.
It redistributes, it moves them around and takes what it needs.
It redistributes the juice and then
it's delicious.
and it cooks it a little bit more too.
It does. If you temp it oh, you ate it already.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Is it good?
It's really, really good.
Couldn't even resist. Here, eat another one.
Okay. Oh, it's dripping. It's so juicy.
Oh yeah. You people go away. This is good.
I'm really glad you put the kosher salt on there in the quantity you did.
But this fat is so crispy. And that's the nice thing. When you get the good side of the pork loin, we were talking about it earlier. Get a whole pork loin, the thinner side, the big pork loin. They usually, that's what they cut into the pork steaks, the boneless pork chops. And then you're left with a little roast like we have here. You buy the whole thing. When you roast it, that end will get a little more dried out.
Yeah.
It will.
The thinner end cooks faster than the less thin end, which makes sense.
Makes sense.
I'm really glad you put dill on that too. It's a lot of flavor. I'm really surprised how much and we're rolling.
God, it's balls hot. We're gonna make soup, but I got soup in my pants. All right.